Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to a quick demo of the new pinball table that I'm working on. I've done a couple of quick sort of rough drafts before of just demonstrating the fact, that, sort of a proof of concept that I could make a pinball game that works. But this is the first version of a real map that I'm working on, a real table that I'm working on in terms of layout, and also with a brand new, completely redone physics system. Everything in here, all the physics are entirely as real as you can get on a computer. They're using the NVIDIA PhysX system, so that nothing is simulated. Like this, when I'm flipping the flipper here, and it hits the ball, there's not an artificial force being applied to the ball. It's actually calculating all the collisions. It's going to be potentially a little intense on the CPU. We're going to have to see how it works in the real world, especially if we want to put out builds for like iPhone and Android tablets. So we'll have to see as we go forward. But basically, it's in there. The one caveat I'm going to give for the physics is these targets. The physics for them is not right because right now they don't move. They're like solid objects. So my skill shot here, I'm going to fire the ball out. It's going to curve here and it's going to hit the top target. The idea being that the skill shot involves the various targets being lit, so the lights will go and cycle between all the targets, and you want to hit your skill shot right when the top target is lit to launch it off. And because of them not being in the final form right now, the ball is just going to sort of bounce off and probably come down really fast, and I'll probably lose it. It's the only thing right now that's not quite right, because in reality the targets will absorb quite a lot of momentum off the ball because they're spring loaded, so they're going to absorb quite a lot, and I'm hoping it just sort of drops down here or something. This is kind of a work in progress. As well, this little placeholder for what will probably be a scoop later is like really placeholdery, so I apologize for the look. But other than that, a lot of the layout is very similar to the way I want it. You won't see a lot of the structure in the actual game because there's going to be a second level above that, and I think this shot here is going to send you up to the second level in some way. The overall theme for the table is going to be heavily inspired by fantasy role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, roguelike computer games like NetHack and Dungeon Crawl, and also things like Diablo, like that sort of genre. You're an adventurer that's plunging down into a dungeon, trying to go deeper and deeper and deeper and uncover all the treasure and get all the and kill all the bad guys. Anyway, I'm going to pull back on the plunger here and try to gain control over the ball again. Damn, that initial shot is just brutal. There will be a link down below to play this game in a web player. It'll run on Windows and Mac by default if you grab the Unity plugin, which you should be prompted for, unless you already have it installed. Linux, I can put out a Linux version at some point in the future. The web player version won't work on Linux, however. Anyway, let's take some shots and see what I can pull off here. It's going to be kind of hard with all the talking, but we'll see what we can do. Hit one ramp. Let's see if we can combo that into the other one. Ooh, not quite. I have gotten in the past some pretty nice shot sequences. Oh, God. Of going ramp to ramp here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off while talking, because obviously that makes you so much more nervous, and I can't get any shots at all. No, come on, save the ball. All right, let's try to get some control here. It's of course entirely possible that I've made a map that is actually too difficult to play and has to be made much easier for the general public to be able to get it. It's hard because I have a hard time. Wow. If anything else, I think I have to make the outlanes a little bit more narrow, or actually put just a little post at the top of the outlane just to make it a little harder for the ball to go down there, because it's pretty unforgiving as is. And while there's room in the world, obviously, for hard pinball tables, since my goal here is not to eat quarters. Come on, there we are. But to have people have fun, I don't want to make the game impossible to play. So we'll see what we can do about that. I mean, you can do a lot with a really generous ball saver, and also kickouts from the outlanes. That put your ball back into play. There's a lot of value in that, and I'll have to look into that, because the goal again is to have a game that's fun to play. And oops, I was trying for that. The elevator shot again. Again, that should. So I haven't figured out what everything is going to be yet in game, what all the combos are going to be, but we have a lot of pretty copious notes put down. That side-to-side motion is absolutely brutal, as you can see there. And yeah, obviously the drain, like I have had like I have a completely workable game. Maybe I'll put it in the link down below. The first test table I have is totally playable. You know, you get 3 balls, you get points, there's bonus, there's combos, there's all kinds of things like that. Things get lit up. But in this version here, there's no logic implemented whatsoever, other than the fact that I guess the targets and the slingshots give you a nominal sort of point for completing it, just because that was already built in. But yeah, there's really virtually no scripting in here in this version of the game at all. It's just some modeling and then a lot of tweaking on the physics. But generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with how things are, other than the fact that maybe it's too hard. Well, we'll have to take a look at that. There's still a little bit of oddity that seems to happen maybe with the ball getting a little too much spin. Now, I mean, that can happen in real life. Sometimes the ball starts spinning and then it takes kind of an odd path, but it does seem to be slightly magnified here. And it's kind of plagued me all along the way, and I haven't really sort of realized exactly what the best fix for it is. I've tried all kinds of different settings for friction, and it always leads to slightly more funniness. Oh, that's the one thing right now. It's got this sort of like this hidden hole back here, which normally when you're going around, you'll just miss it. It's possible a slow, gentle shot can drop in there. And also my plan is for something on the board to activate a diverter over here, some sort of barrier that can come up, so then when you take one of these orbit shots, I'm not sure if it's going to be from both sides or just from the left, but so when you take a left orbit shot like this, it'll pop up a barrier and divert it into this little hole, and that might be the ball lock. And I kind of like the idea that the ball lock is always available. Technically, if you can get, if you can master this sort of really, really slow shot up the orbit, and I haven't figured out a way to do it consistently. It just sort of seems to happen by luck, the right angle, the right bounce. I'm fully expecting people to sort of figure that out at some point. But to get a nice slow shot up there and then get a ball lock, I mean, it would have to be a very slow shot, but also like make it, if you're going this way, just high enough, or this way, just high enough, so that you don't roll back down, but you also don't overshoot it. So I think it's kind of interesting having the ball lock always work as a bonus, but then normally the way you would do it is you would activate something that would enable some diverters over here, so that when the ball comes by, maybe from either side, I don't know, it'll block the ball and knock it down into the little hole here. Probably a scoop of some kind, maybe. Yeah, probably a scoop. It's going to have to eat the ball somehow and drop it into the table, lock the ball, and then you get your third ball in there, and it'll start the multi-ball somehow. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Check out the link down below. Let me know in the comments or via email. Wow, that's a lot of balls. If you run into any problems, there is no way to reset the game right now other than to refresh your web browser. And yeah, you can click to spawn balls if you haven't figured that much out. And when you get this many balls down here all colliding, it will slow down like crazy. So you can click to spawn balls. You can the plunger is with you can fire if you hold down. The longer you hold down, the further back it pulls it. So just pull it back for a few seconds and then release. You'll get a full power shot. With this type of skill shot, there probably will not be an actual plunger. It'll probably just hit the button. So down arrow, or I think enter. Let me, yeah, enter as well. It'll probably just be a button. You just hit the button and it'll just fire the ball at full strength. So you get that sort of consistent behavior, since there's no reason to do sort of a light plunge, generally speaking. And then the left and right arrow keys work the flippers, but personally, I would recommend using the control or shift keys. Now on Windows, there's a weird behavior with the shift keys where if you hold them both up and then you release one, there we go, like that. Now right now I'm just holding down one shift key. If you put them both up and then release one of them, it depends on which one you triggered first and released last or something like that. They can both be stuck up, and that's a problem in Unity and Windows only. If you're on a Mac, the shift keys work great. So on Windows, I recommend you use the control keys to activate the flippers. You can also nudge the table. This is again going to kill my frame rate here for a second with the Z or slash key. that are next to the shift buttons. You can also use the alt keys. Those are also nudges if you need to shove the table around. So anyway, that's it for the demo. Please let me know what you think of the table, if there are any technical issues. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on this. In terms of when it'll be released, in terms of how it will be released, that's still a big, huge question mark. But I'm having fun playing with it for now. So see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.